Welcome to the Own It Sister podcast with the amazing life coach, Sarah Oxendine.
Aloha, everybody. How are you? This is Sarah Oxendine with the Own It Sister podcast, episode number 18. Woohoo! Woohoo! And today we're going to talk about the model, okay? Because I've talked about the model so many times in this podcast, and I just feel like I really want to break it down to you. If any of you are feeling confused, in the notes below, I will have it written out, like how to do a model so that you can kind of go to it for notes and see, okay? So here's the deal. The model is the key to all things. That's so funny, but totally the truth. Like, it's crazy. The model, and listen, this model, I learned this from my coach, Brooke Castile, at the Life Coach School. But she did put this together, but it's not like she actually invented the model. Like, the model is just the way things are. In fact, the way all things in the world are, right? And here's how it's broken down, okay? You have a circumstance. Circumstance are facts, okay? In the world, no matter what's going on with you in your life, you can put it into the model. Like, it's crazy. Anything. You can put it into the model. You can use it to see more clearly, and then you can use it to create something different. It's like, did your brain just go, poof? Seriously. Okay, so here's what it is. Circumstances are just facts, and that is the top of the model, okay? And really, when I'm doing it, I just do C for circumstance, and then T for thought, F for feeling, A for action, R for result. Okay? And then I write my sentence next to it. So for circumstance, circumstances are facts always. There's no descriptive words in circumstance, okay? It is exactly what someone said, like exactly the words that came out of their mouth. It's exactly what someone did with no descriptive words, right? So you wouldn't say they slammed the door. They shut the door behind them, right? Because what you think is slammed, what I think is slammed are different. And so we don't mess with that. Now, let's say, there are certain things that you might get confused. So like racism, that would not ever go in the circumstance line, because everyone's idea of what is racism and racist is a little bit different. So you would need to write the exact thing that happened in the circumstance. So they said, and then write exactly what they said. So they did exactly what they did. Okay? So boss, or I didn't get the raise. I was not promoted. And then the thought would be, that's where you would put how you're feeling. So the thought there might be, they are so racist, or this is unfair. You know, whatever your thought is about why you didn't get that promotion, that is a thought that you're having, which is optional. Now, even if you're like, no, but it's true, we're just going to steer clear of that is actually a thought in your head, because what if that really isn't the reason? And again, the reason we put these in, it's to serve you. It's for no other reason. It's not like to try to justify someone's actions or no. It's to help you in your life so that the things that you're thinking and feeling are happening for you rather than against you. Okay? So another thing for circumstance, so it needs to be able to be proven in the court of law, exactly the truth. I mean, exactly just what happened, no descriptive words. Okay, that's circumstances, facts. I didn't get the promotion. He shut the door. She said, I hate you. You know, whatever the thing is. Okay, so that's circumstance. Oh my gosh, my eye is kind of freaking out. Sorry. Now, the thought is whatever you were thinking about the circumstance. So let's say the circumstance is She said, I hate you. Your thought is, she's a jerk. Now, your brain might be like, no, that's a fact. She is a jerk. Okay. This is where the model is so good. It's not a fact. There's someone on the planet who might not think she's a jerk. And if you're like, no, everyone does. But there could be someone. So she's a jerk is a thought. It is not a fact. And then that thought causes you to feel a certain way. So the fact that she said, I hate you is not causing you to feel anything. Then you have a thought, she's a jerk. That thought is causing you to feel something. Okay. Now, you get to choose how you want to feel. You might want to think the thought, she's a jerk. That's okay. Okay. So there's no punishing yourself for choosing to think a thought when that's what you want to think. If you want to think she's a jerk, you do it. That's okay. If you want to think the thought, what they did was wrong, that is unacceptable. Yes, you can think that. It's just important to be aware of what is it that you're thinking so that your just level of consciousness is up leveled and you are understanding that you're in control of what's going on. And it isn't actually the fact that she said, I hate you. She said, I hate you isn't causing you to feel anything. What? I know it's crazy, but it's totally not. Then your thought is causing you to feel that way. And, it's okay to feel however you're feeling. Like, you don't need to change that unless you want to. And a lot of the times it's good just to feel it so that you can practice processing it. So she says, I hate you. You have a thought. She's a freaking jerk. Then you feel angry and then you act. You yell at her back, right? So your act is then you say, yeah, well, I hate you too. And then the result is you're fighting. Now let's go there again. Circumstance, she says, I hate you. Thought, she's crazy. I'm amazing. Feeling is like, oh, confused. Like, that's weird. So the feeling's confused. The result is, I don't believe her. I'm amazing. That's weird, right? The result is, I don't really care that she said that. Do you see that? Did I say all of them, actually? So circumstances, she says, I hate you. The thought is, that's weird. I'm amazing. The feeling is confused. The action is say, that's weird. Or the action is to walk away. And the result is, you don't care. Now, we can go to another thing. It's the same thing. She says, I hate you. You could think that a different thought, which could be, I wonder why she's saying this. If you think the thought, I wonder why she's saying this, I want you to answer the question first, okay? You're not going to put a thought inside the model. Answer the question. So you have a thought, I wonder why she's saying this, then answer it and put that sentence in the model. So when you ask yourself the question, I wonder why she's saying this, the answer could be, yeah, I can see where she's coming from. Or the answer could be, she thinks I did something that I didn't. Or it could be, yeah, she totally should hate me. Right? Like, just go there and kind of see, like, I wonder, like, why is she saying that? If there's truth behind why she's saying that, if you can understand why she's saying that, if you were her and you would hate you too, then just, you don't need to argue with it. You don't even need to be mad about it. Be like, yeah, I get it. Totally. I would hate me too if I was you. Right? Like, that's what your action would be, because you would have the thought, oh yeah, like, I totally get it. And then you would feel compassion, or you'd feel understanding. And then your reaction would be to tell her, yeah, I totally get it. I'm sorry. And then the result is you're figuring it out. You apologized, right? So many different ways circumstances can go, all depending on the thoughts that we think. Now, what are thoughts? So you guys, listen, thoughts are just, they're kind of like clouds. And lots of times we have so many thoughts that are unconscious. So it's important to really, really start paying attention. What is going on in your brain? A thought is just a sentence in your head. That's it. A thought is a sentence in your head. And here's the deal. As humans, we have anywhere between 60 to 80,000 thoughts every single day. And it's like 80 to 90% of those thoughts are the exact same thoughts we thought yesterday. And here's why that's important to know, is that you are replaying the same kind of thoughts over and over and over and over. This is important for you to understand, because unless you take charge of your brain and become an emotional adult, that's going to continue to happen. If you're going to have thoughts replaying over and over, then don't you want those thoughts to be awesome and amazing? You don't want them to be thoughts that are like, you suck, you're crappy, they hate you, everyone hates me, I'm a loser, they're ugly, I hate this person, I hate my job. Like, if those are those thoughts that are replaying, over and over, those are some of the 80 to 90,000 thoughts going on in your brain. What? It's probably going to make sense why your life is the way it is, right? But if you have thoughts that are replaying in your brain, I'm amazing, I can do this, I never give up, I can do hard things. 50-50 is a part of the deal. I can process emotion. I know how to forgive. I choose to forgive. I choose to love. If those are the thoughts, you're going to create something completely different with your life. You are in charge of your thoughts. Yes, you're going to have some thoughts that float through your brain and you're going to be like, why? Where did that come from? Like, I don't want to think that thought. Here's the deal. Don't beat yourself up about the thoughts that you have. Recognize what they are and recognize they're a choice, and you can choose to keep those thoughts, or you can choose to let those thoughts go. Thought goes through my brain, you're a loser. Not true. I don't believe that anymore. And I just let it go. But I don't say, oh my gosh, I shouldn't be thinking I'm a loser. I'm such a loser for thinking I'm a loser. Oh, do you see how that just is a serious spiral that does not serve anybody? It most certainly doesn't serve you. So notice those thoughts. Here's the deal. If you're not aware of the thoughts going on in your head, then you're just going to keep getting a repeat of your life over and over. So if you're like, I don't know why I feel so stuck, why am I here? It's because you're replaying the same thoughts over and over. So you've got to become aware. Awareness is freedom. You can't change what you don't know is there. When I first became aware of the thoughts in my head, I was like, actually it made me depressed because I couldn't believe, like, I have always thought like I'm such a positive person. And in fact, most people would say that I am a positive person. But then when I realized how much crap was in my brain, it made me think like, I suck. And then I beat myself up. But then I had to be like, listen, sister, I'm human. I'm going to have 50% of crappy thoughts. That's okay. I'm just going to not make them mean anything about me. If I have a thought that's like, you suck, I'm like, you're wrong. Done. Like, I just counteract it. I just acknowledge that that's a lie. It's not the truth. But if I don't know it's there, and I'm telling myself, you suck, you're a loser, you're never going to make it. If I don't know that's happening, you guys, it's happening anyways. I am being affected by it. It's holding me back from doing other things. I have to become aware. I have to acknowledge it. So that is thoughts. Now you get to choose your thoughts. Again, so what I do, a negative thought comes through my brain. I do not make it mean anything about me. I'm like, okay, no, goodbye. Okay, that's not the truth. Goodbye. Okay, I don't believe that anymore. Goodbye. Now, sometimes when I've worked with clients and maybe they've seen things that they can't unsee, maybe there's experiences, trauma that's happened in their life, and sometimes they replay it in their brain, and then they have thoughts about it. So in those situations, I just remind them that you're in control. Now, we're not always in control of exactly what's going to come in when, right? But we are in control of what we choose to do with it. So if you have a past trauma that is coming up for you, and maybe you see it in your brain and then you have thoughts about it, you get to choose where you allow your brain to go. You get to decide. You are the one in power. And at the beginning, it's going to feel like you don't have any power. At the beginning, you're going to feel like, no, I don't have any control. It just happens. And that's just because you aren't practiced. You're not skilled there yet. You haven't done enough work yet. And you just continue to practice and you continue to practice. The trauma comes up. This wasn't my fault. This had nothing to do with me. And maybe it was. Maybe you did something and you wish you hadn't. And it was terrible. That's not who then what I would suggest for you is thinking thoughts is serving me. That's not who I am anymore. I don't make decisions like that. That is not my life. I will not live that way anymore. That's not me anymore. Right? So don't allow your brain to control what's happening. Don't allow your thoughts to control. Don't allow that to mean like, oh my gosh, that came up again in my head. That must be who I am. I must be a terrible person. Like, no, I decide if I'm a terrible person or not. I'm not a terrible person. Yes, I did that thing. That was wrong. And I have done what I needed to make it right. I've confessed. I've apologized. I've done all the necessary steps. Whether someone else chooses to forgive me or not, that is up to them. What is up to me is for me to try to mend things and then for me to change from the inside. Okay? So those are thoughts. Now, we have feelings. Feelings are a result of a thought that we're having. So if you ever find yourself, like if you're feeling depressed and you're like, but I just don't know why I'm depressed. Okay, that's not true. Slow down, sister. What's the thought you're thinking? And you're probably gonna be like, but I have so many thoughts, or I don't even know what I'm thinking. Okay, that's just because your level of awareness is not there yet, but the thought's there. There's a thought causing you to feel depressed. You're not just feeling depressed for no reason. That's not a thing. So you have to identify what are the depressing thoughts that are going through your head. Lots of times it's few thoughts repeated over and over. Like, I suck, I should die, I should kill myself, my life isn't worth living, I'm a terrible mother, I can't do anything right, I'll never measure up. Those thoughts, of course you're going to feel depressed. So when you're thinking thoughts like, but I just don't know why, and listen, I'm on your side. I'm here to help you overcome your own struggles. If you are suffering from any emotion, depression, anxiety, fear, it's because of thoughts you're having. Now, yes, there are neurotransmitters in your brain and there's different, on a chemical level. Yes, for sure. Those all could be the case. And there's tons of reasons why that could be happening. But we're not going to address any of those because what for sure is also happening are you have thoughts that you are indulging in and you are spinning out in and you are choosing to believe. And I just want to let you know they are optional. You don't have to think the thought, I'm a terrible mother. You don't have to think the thought, it's all my fault. You don't have to think the thought, I broke up my family. You don't have to think the thought, this shouldn't have happened to us. You can choose different thoughts. That is all in your control. And it doesn't matter what's going on with the neurons in your brain. You can choose that. And when you choose different thoughts, you will feel differently. You guys, this is so important. You have to be deliberate and make a choice. And it is work. Let me tell you, when I am working on, so for me, one of the hardest things for me has been, my husband used to road rage. He doesn't even road rage as much anymore, but he road raged for a long time, like years and 10 years more. Maybe he's just recently not. I don't even know. But for sure, at least 10 years of our first 10 years of our marriage, for sure. And I would literally feel like he was hurt, like it was hurt. Like I felt like he was hurting my spirit. And I felt like very justified. And I felt like I can't even drive with you. This is not even who behaves this way. And I had all these judgments and all these thoughts, but I wasn't realizing I was doing it. I was literally thinking he is the problem because he can't control himself and he's road raging. And that is causing me to feel all of these things. None of that was true. That was a full lie. But I didn't realize that. But when I recognized and I could be honest and I could own my own feelings, freedom happened for me. It took so much work though, you guys, years. Actually, it probably was a good 2 years, probably I think for me, that's kind of been my thing, a solid 2 years of work. Like even with some serious forgiveness that I needed to do, it was a solid 2.5 years of work. And then I was able to work through it, but it did take time. So this work isn't just like, oh, I'm just going to like change my thought and like feel amazing and tomorrow it'll be awesome. No, like if you struggle with depression, you struggle with anxiety, it could take years of working on changing your thoughts, but it will happen. And the reason it takes so long is that our thoughts, they are like hardwired in our brain, and they end up being like our brain really wants to think the same thoughts over and over. They become very solid. Okay, like if I was to liken it to like a trail, right? If you're like, on a trail, it's easier to walk on the trail. So it's like your brain. Your brain has all these different trails of thoughts. And the more you think them, the clearer the trail gets. Easier to walk down. But if you're trying to change this thought that is, for me, in my case of my husband, was like, he is hurting my soul. His road rage is hurting my soul. Like I, from the depths of my soul, believed that was true. Like I did not realize that was a full thought. He is not hurting my soul. Like I'm having thoughts that's hurting myself and then I'm blaming him. It's ridiculous. But for me to change that, like I had these very clear paths in my brain that was like, no, that's the truth. That's the truth. I had to go off course and recreate paths in my brain. So I had to go forage new trails. That is not easy. Foraging trails is hard work. And you have to repetitive over and over. I had to catch myself. I had to stop going down that easy pathway that I had created. And I had to pick new thoughts, which was, what thought did I think? I think I went to, nothing's gone wrong here. My husband can totally road rage and my soul does not have to be hurt. I choose how I feel. And like, I just over and over and it, it was so crazy. But you guys, it's gone. No more. Like he can road rage and I'm fine. And here's the deal. He doesn't even road rage as much. Like it's so weird. Like I eased, like me fighting and resisting, like that caused us to then fight. And then it was like this whole blown up thing. But when I just stopped fighting about it, I didn't say anything about it. I stopped trying to control him and let him be him. And I just, like, I can feel love and peace right now. And he can be saying and doing whatever he wants. Like, that's possible. And I am making it impossible because I'm trying to control him. I think he has to behave a certain way so I can feel better. Not the truth. I decide how I feel. So, feelings. We feel a certain way because of thoughts we are having, not because of anything else, not because of my husband's road rage. It was because I had a thought that he should be different than what he was. I had a thought that he was hurting my soul. I had a thought that how could I be married to someone who behaves this way? Right? Like I was being so judgy and I didn't even know it. So where in your life are you doing this? Like it is so amazing and so freeing when you can recognize this. That level of awareness is everything. So pick an emotion. So you have the circumstance, which is only a fact. Then you have, and those are all the things in the world, right? And then you have a thought about the things in the world. And that thought is just one sentence. You never put more than one thought in the model. So you put one sentence goes where the thought is. And you can do I do at least 5 models every day. And that one sentence, you can do more models and put a different sentence. But when you think that one sentence, what is the feeling that you feel? So really sit with that. Like, how do I feel when I think this one sentence? Write that emotion down. You might need to print up a list of emotions. I actually needed to do that to just become more aware. When your vocabulary can expand, it really helps you just kind of identify how are you feeling and what's really going on with you. So then you put the emotion there, 1. I mean, you could probably put 2 sometimes. That's not a big deal, but for sure only 1 sentence, an emotion that it causes you to feel. And then when you feel that way, how do you act? This is very important because when you feel angry, how do you act? Like for me, it would cause me to feel angry at my husband. And then how would I act? I would, tell him he needed to stop immediately. And this was unacceptable. And then we would fight. The result was we were fighting. But when I was able to change my model to circumstance stayed the same, which was husband. I guess I couldn't even put road rage. I would have to say husband said words about driver. Then my thought was, this was my good thought. My thought was, he can say and do whatever he wants, and I can feel however I want. I'm in charge. And that caused me to feel empowered. And when I felt empowered, it caused me to not yell at him for being him. It allowed me to, my action was accept what is. And the result was peace. My inner peace. Okay? Taking the action of accepting what is, man. And I think sometimes what we think is when we accept what is, that means that we're just being a pushover and no, it just means we're being honest. You still get to decide what you want to do with that. Just because you decide to accept what is, that doesn't mean that you stay. That doesn't mean that you don't ground your child. That doesn't mean anything. It just means you're now, okay, I'm accepting and understanding this is what is, and now what? Then you decide. All your choice. So that's the emotion. Then that's what the action is, whatever you do because of that emotion. And then the result is, what is the result that you get because of the action that you took? Because so often this is what we want to do. We want to say, no, but I did that. I said that because you said this. I did that because you did that. You cheated, so I cheated. Blah, 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 blah. And like we do all this hissy fit stuff. But no. We got to own your own actions. What did you do? And then what was the result because of what you did, not because of the circumstance. The circumstance does not control anything. You have a thought, then you have a feeling. That feeling drives an action, and that action creates a result. Be very clear, you guys. This is a game changer. I go in a lot of depth with this with my clients. I do personally do 5 models a day for myself. And then I have my clients do 5 models a day also. And then they take a picture of it and they send it to me. And then I review it and we go over it and we talk about it, because it's really important that you're doing your models right. So often, especially when you're first learning, you might put a thought in the feeling line, right? Like I feel, I can't even think of one right now. But they can get jumbled. Sometimes you are doing one model and you'll put the result of a different model, but you think, so let's just say like, I feel depressed, or the circumstance is depression. Then the thought is, I hate being depressed. And then the feeling is even more depressed. And then the action is, you think the action there is, I take myself out to eat. And the result is I don't feel depressed anymore. Okay, that is a jumbled model. That is not what you do when you feel even more depressed. You don't take yourself out to eat. That's a different model. And so it's really important to say, wait, no, when I'm beating myself up, that's what I do when I'm feeling depressed for feeling depressed. Then my action is I beat myself up. It's not I take myself out to eat, or I take myself out on a date. You take yourself out on a date because of a different model, which would be I feel depressed, or the circumstance is depression. The thought is I will not let this take over my life. The feeling is empowered. The action is I take myself out on a date. The result is I feel better. Do you see that? But sometimes, right? So it's really important as you're learning how to do these models to get the help and have someone looking at it who can really help you. So that is me. I am a life coach. My name is Sarah Oxendine. I'm really good at what I do. I specifically work with women who are recently divorced, and we work on their self-image. Like how do their relation, really self-image. I mean, yes, that too, but really their relationship with themselves and falling in love with yourself and building like so often we think that we're broken, right? Especially after something like a divorce, and now you have these kids and you have this ex, and there's all these different things. But here's what I want to tell you. You're not broken. Okay. Sometimes you might feel like a vase that was just shattered. No, you just were a vase before, and now all of those pieces are going to become and create this beautiful masterpiece. That's a different piece of artwork. You're not trying to put back the pieces. You're creating something new. And that is what I work with these women. And so my next program will begin in October. If you're watching this after October, call me and find out when my next program will be available. I take 20 clients at a time. It's a 6-week program, and it's awesome and amazing. And it's so incredible. So if you think that we could be a good fit, call me. My number is listed below, and then we will talk on the phone and we will decide if we really are a good fit. And if I feel like I can help you, let's get you started, because nothing is more important than working on your mental health. Nothing is more important than you being empowered to take your life back and really understanding that you are in charge. You're in charge of all of the things in your life. You can take control. You can take your life back, create whatever you want. I believe in you. Have an amazing day. Own it, sister. Oh, the essential oil and the emotion. Let's do empowered. If you are, what are the essential oils to help you feel empowered? Hold on. Sorry, I didn't find it first. Empowered. Let's see here. Empowered. And again, you guys, so in my program, this book's included. It's flipping rad. It is, and so the supplements are included and essential oils are included. We really work to heal from the inside out. This book's awesome. You also get a Modern Essentials book, which tells you how to use your essential oils. And I teach you all of that also. It's a really amazing program. But oils to help you feel empowered: ginger, clove, melaleuca, and star anise. And the way you would use these oils are, you could put them on topically. Really, when you're doing things for mental reasons, you want to get them through your nose. You want to breathe them, inhale them through your nose. It goes through through your olfactory system, which gets to 5 different parts of your brain. It also gets into your bloodstream. So using essential oils aromatically is very, very powerful. I really use essential oils aromatically, topically, and internally. But when you're talking about them aromatically is really great. But I do for feeling empowered, I would put it under my earlobes. I would put it over my heart, right on my third eye. You might want to put it over your solar plex, diffuse it in the air. But while you're using these oils, I want you to ask yourself this: what decisions need to be made so that I can move forward? Have I considered divine help? I now accept my strength and capabilities to move forward with passion and purpose. See a force move through you from see a force move through you from behind to propel you forward and upward on your journey. Imagine unseen help lifting you over your obstacles in your way. That is so beautiful. So reach out to me, and if you want to I can direct you with how to get essential oils. I can also direct you with becoming your life coach and working with you one-on-one. Have an amazing day, and own it, sister. You are totally worth it. Own it, sister.